All right. Hello. Good morning. So, man, I can't never stick with a plan. Spirit just pops up and says, no, 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 you got to talk about this. No, no, no. So, I'm here to give some guidance and some encouragement and some advice to some of my clients that are currently dealing with generational curses, disputes, family disputes, whether or not you are having a dispute with your auntie, your uncle, even your parents, grandparents, uh, brother, sister, cousins. Okay, I want to come and talk to clients, and then whoever just wants to listen to take this advice, you're welcome. Just to let you guys know, this is High Priestess Jamila. Um, I kind of specialize in generational curse removals, reversals, family disputes, things of that nature, and problems and issues, especially when it comes to spiritual issues. So I wanted to come and speak to y'all because, I think that there is a lot of confusion as to how to handle it. And then, especially if there is work being done to free you from, generational bondages that may involve your parental figures, especially when it comes to religion and spirituality. Okay, so this is going to be for you guys. So, where do I start? All of you come into this world and you depend on your family largely, which includes your mother, your father. Sometimes it may involve, you know, other people in the family that may have a hand in raising you. And that's not always a perfect circumstance. Okay. You may have certain plans, or God may have a certain plan for you that just does not mesh well with, people in your family, even your parents. It may not be, what they want. And there may be disputes because of that. And then some of y'all may come from dysfunctional situations. Hello, Jen. Good morning. Some of y'all may come from dysfunctional situations to where you may look at the world and say, you know what? I can do this. I believe in myself, right? You may come from a dysfunctional place where your parents or your grandparents, or maybe even people around you, they may be like, no, 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 be a loser. And please excuse me because my cat, it's been all morning with a plethora of meows. She has food, her favorite food. She has fresh water, but she's just been meowing all morning. I don't I don't understand I've asked her what does she want. She can't tell me. So if y'all hear her meowing, that's why. She has just been jumping all over the place. She's just been going through it today. I don't know. She's been kind of excited ever since I did that big pentagram in the back room. So she's been just all over that and just all over the place. So please excuse. Um, anyway, back to the subject. Everybody don't get along with their family. And especially if they're, which I can tell you that that's the case 100% of the time, especially if there is a dysfunction where, they don't really know how to settle their differences. They may not agree with you on certain things, and you may feel some type of way about that. And then there's some people that just outright feel as though they are being spiritually attacked by their parents, and that happens a lot, especially if you're dealing with like narcissism, mental illness, spiritual illness that causes a parent to be in competition with their own child. And that's hard because when you look at a parental figure, you expect them to want what's best for you, right? You expect for them to um, have the expectation, especially in a growing world where, back when our grandparents were kids, a loaf of bread costed a penny. When our parents was young, a loaf of bread costed 10 cents or 50 cents. And now to get a good loaf of bread, you're going to spend at least $4 or $5. If you get that cheap stuff, it may be 99 cents, but to get the stuff that ain't going to cause you no health problems, going to cost you about $5, unless you make your own bread at home, which is always a good idea too. But, you know, so all of our parents and even us as parents, for example, if your parents earned, let's give an example, if they earned 150,000 per year, and this is just an example, but if that's what they earned per year when they retired 20 years ago, the standards are going to be different now because the cost of living has went up. And really, to be honest with you, you can't, I mean, complaining about that doesn't help. Complaining doesn't help. It's something that you just have to adapt to, honestly. And I think that so the whole competition thing is just ignorant, but it happens. And some of y'all are just outright being spiritually abused by your parents, or your grandparents, or either family members. And so that's hard. It makes you feel all alone in the world. And, it puts a stigmatization on you, doesn't it? It's hard. In fact, there's a lot of people, I can just look at them and tell that they're having this internal struggle, especially if you guys are on this channel and you're a witch and you're being denied using your own power as a witch, especially if you are using that power to heal yourself, to help yourself, and then you've got somebody saying no, 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 that's evil. Don't use that crystal, that's evil. If you light that candle, that's going to be evil. If you go outside of our religion, that's evil and you're going to get shunned and we don't trust you, which is sad. I think that's one of the biggest struggles when I have spoken to, witches that just discovered themselves, that it hurts them a lot because all of a sudden their family turns on them. They don't trust you for some reason. It's like, well, I'm trying to, practice to do better for myself. But see, that's kind of how that spirit works when you are under a generational curse. That's how it works. It turns everybody against each other and causes everybody to distrust one another. And, so that it's like that by design. Okay. So, how do you deal with that? And, what if you have a multi-generational curse that may have came 2 to 3 to 5 to 6 generations ago, and it seems like your parents are possessed. Yeah, it is. It is. It's lonely, and yeah, it is. Um, and so, you feel like they don't care. You feel like they don't want you. You feel unwanted. You feel sad, right? And you feel, because that's typically what happens when you're the black sheep. You kind of end up, they stigmatize you a lot. They have nothing positive to say about you, even though you may be an amazing person. They may be possessed. Um, because for me, I always think deeper. If a person constantly has nothing positive to say about a person, that I felt good about that person, and then here comes this other person, and they're like, "Oh, yeah," because it's about it may sometimes it might be about control, like controlling how people see you. Okay, so what if you got that situation going on and it's affecting every aspect of your life, and so a lot of you have came to me for the generational curse removers, or either cleanses, or either other workings, because you're dealing with these family problems. How do you deal with it? And so a lot of people, because it makes you angry, because when you go out into the world is a very chaotic place, right? And so you're like, God, look at the world. And then you go and you look back at your family, and it's depressing, isn't it? Because you're you're just like, my goodness, what is going on? And so then you find yourself, you feel like you're in an endless battle, right? And they're not going to tell you how they feel. They're going to front, they're going to put on their poker face for you. um but really, it's all about their actions. Actions speak louder than words. I mean, they can tell you that they love you, but or they can tell you that they care about you, but their actions is speaking different. So and so they'll try to make you feel like you're paranoid, when in reality they have some pretty uh baneful intent towards you. Okay. And sometimes in the world, people in the world, because they don't want to talk about it, either out of embarrassment or shame. Because if you notice that when you start to speak about it, then they start to shame you instead of just talking the situation out, maybe coming together, praying together, and uniting together to beat that demon. But they, you know, either they want to, maybe, I don't know, grandstand, or, or they, they're, possessed by many spirits. So when you're dealing with them, you don't have to go for blood, right? You don't have to um, feel like it doesn't have to be a situation to where you have to destroy them, right? Like, especially if it's somebody like a parent, that's difficult. Which, there you go, there you go. Yeah, yeah, go on outside. Y'all, she been acting bad this morning, so she needs to go play a little bit. I'll just let my cat out. um and some of y'all have karmic relationships with family members. I'd say those are your biggest karmics, is family, because you never know, they may have been, man, I've seen all sorts of things come up, and I've heard all sorts of things, meaning that your mother in this life, maybe in a past life, she was a enemy, or maybe she was your sister and y'all had a sibling rivalry. So many different things. Do I think that you are the one that always has to be the one to say you were wrong? No, I think that both parties have to say, you know what? I was wrong for that, and I shouldn't have done that. You find yourself being the one that's always taking responsibility for, someone else's actions. And that's hard because then you don't feel like you matter or that you count. And that's hard. And so a lot of people, they will go no contact. Um, One of the biggest things that I have seen is family members going to botanicals, family members going to church. And people do this all the time. They will talk about your issues so that because while they're not dealing with theirs. So then you become this person that's constantly being spoken about, that, and you're not even anywhere near them, but because you're not near them, and even if you were near them, they would still be making you out to be the devil because they feel like they have to do that to cover up what they may be hiding. So that happens a lot as well. And then you find yourself in a spiritual battle. Okay. So with that said, you know, if you are breaking away from that, what my suggestion would be to keep your hands as clean as possible. So that means what? That means that you just have to be patient and trust the process. And you don't want to turn yourself into, quote unquote, the devil by, doing things like wishing death upon them and things of that nature, when in reality, if you trust in spirit, you can trust in spirit. And I've seen it so many times happen, to where things work out for you. You just have to be patient. Okay. So the number one rule is to keep your um, hands as clean as possible. Okay. Meaning that you don't want to corrupt yourself, even though they may be doing everything in their power to take you out, stressing you out, constantly sending you bad energy, constantly trying to do harm to you. And, anybody that sends bad energy to you, you have the right to send it back, no matter who it is, because nobody should be doing that. Right. And so that's fair. If somebody sends you bad energy, you have the right to ward it off. And that's just it. Okay. But don't go above and beyond. I'm tired of this. I just want to wish death on these people. And, you start feeling that bitterness in your heart. And then that's when now you're just like them, because a lot of the times, the way that a lot of my clients feel, they feel as though their family members are trying to sacrifice them. They feel that. And it can be a very, very real thing that you feel that way, to where you just feel like they don't care what happens to you and that they're trying to facilitate something happening to you. Or they want you to be a living sacrifice, to where you serve their purpose. Like, for example, if you come from a certain type of family to where they feel as though there's a lot of obstacles and challenges, and when you overcome that and they didn't, when you're able to overcome that, right, and they're not able to overcome it, then that's when the jealousy starts, and then they go into overdrive because they got to prove that they was right. See, I told you, can't nobody go out there and, especially if you're a black person, right? But this happens on both sides. If you're a black person, you can't have a better life because they couldn't do it, and you're not allowed to do that because of what, right? And so when you are different and you prove that wrong, then now they have to tear down and destroy what you have, right? And that don't even have to happen in your family, or, even when it comes to other races of people, whatever it is, they love their statistics. No, no, no. You had a baby at a young age, so you're supposed to have a disadvantage. No, no, no. You got a divorce, so that means that you're supposed to be miserable the rest of your life. People love to be right. It's just something about that. And so they'll start to try to do these self-fulfilling prophecies to you. Well, I think this is what I think, I think that if she go over there and do that and something gonna happen and they gonna kill her, or this gonna happen. And then when they see that it doesn't happen to you, then they start to try to make it happen. It's very strange and unusual. Okay. um and so that can happen on any level to anybody. And so, for example, if you have that issue, if you have, because I think that it's bad to have some kind of generational curse over you. What's really bad is when you have a generational curse in your family and nobody can get along. That's the double-edged sword, because many families can band together. Okay. Or some of you guys do have families that have band together, but you're out. You're not included in that. You don't. We don't like you for whatever reason. We don't like you. So what do you do? You know. Um, and so, for example, if I were to make you a gallon jug of potion to keep in your house to ward off that energy, because then all of a sudden you become the oddball out. Is in particular if you practice witchcraft, even though people are responsible for themselves, all of a sudden you're doing spells on everybody, which is totally untrue. And so then they begin to affect you through the blood, right? So when you're given instruction on what to do, for example, I would suggest until at least next year, a lot of people keep a black flame going, or you can use a white flame, and the oils and the potions and stuff will definitely keep you grounded and keep you safe, to where you're not being put in a position to where you have to live with this person or depend on this person that hates you, that just wants to, just torture you mentally, spiritually, psychologically, and in every other way. Okay. Um, so trust in the process. You know what I'm saying? Trust in that, and it will work. You'll see immediate results from that. However, the bad part about this is that, we can make binding jars to fix a situation. We can do all sorts of things, but that pretty much until a bulk of the family, which what would be considered the family would be you, maybe any siblings that you have, and then your mother and your father. Okay, that's granted if both of them are still living. And I'm gonna tell you that rarely does that happen. It does, but rarely does it happen. A lot of families are in shambles when it comes to that. They just can't agree on anything, and they are harassing each other, stalking each other, talking about each other in some of the most horrifying ways. That's just like if I found out that a family member was traveling abroad. I'm not going to say, "Ooh, they going to kill her." Ooh. You got people that will speak a curse on you in a New York minute, and And it's like you supposed to be family. People speak curses on themselves every day. They got loose lips. They don't know how to check their own words. And then of course those words come from their negative thoughts. And they just have no control over that. And that's why all of these negative situations are always manifesting, which is why y'all have distanced yourselves from them because they just don't have anything positive to say. And then some of them have spiritual gifts on top of that. Some of them are sleepwalkers, day walkers, Oh, wow. Okay. And a lot of them will be showing up in your dreams and they'll be messing with you in the astral and it's a mess, right? Get educated and do what you have to do, but keep your hands clean as possible. Okay, especially when it comes to your parents. Now, some of y'all got parents that, oh my God, for them to even be around you still trying to, wow. And I'm talking about I have spoken to people who have been sitting who have been raped in the room next to their mother and their mother knew it was happening and she did nothing. Now see, that's deep. Okay, that's deep, deep dysfunction, and a lot of y'all don't want to be around that dysfunction, right? Which is totally understandable. Especially if you got little ones of your own, you want your children to have better. And you would never, right? And so you don't have to feel like you're bad or you're a bad seed because a lot of the times when you have especially a parent that has violated you, they'll try to make you feel like you're the bad seed. Okay? The heck? Please don't feel that way. And a lot of them use spirituality to keep you in chains. Some of y'all just have horrible family, horrifying, just got to walk away from them, okay? For your own sanity and your own health. It's a very, very strong and powerful feeling because it's something happening to somebody that you share a bloodline with. Okay, but you don't like them. You don't like what they do. You don't like the energy. You don't like what they're doing. Okay. So keeping your hands as clean as possible. A lot of you guys do have anger, which is understandable. Depending on the level of dysfunction that you come from, you have a lot of anger about that. And you will possibly take that anger out on others, when it's not necessarily their fault. So that's another thing. What I mean by keeping your hands as clean as possible is to not take that out on other people because you never know what those people are going through themselves. Okay. Don't ever lose hope. Believe in yourself that you do have the ability to create the life that you want for yourself. You have to believe in yourself. Okay. And, I'm not the type of person that is into tearing families apart. There's some religious, I mean, you guys make up your own mind, now because and it happens to women and men. It's not just women. Men go through it too, to where they have this very, very negative relationship with their elders, and they just, even when you try to do better, they're not supportive of you. So when you are going through the process of a generational curse remover, you may not have necessarily a dysfunctional family, but it may be a situation to where there may be certain things and patterns that repeat through the bloodline. Okay. But a lot of y'all that I've been seeing here lately have an outright war going on to where everybody hates everybody, and it's bad. It's not good at all. Okay. Some of y'all just may have strongholds and then you just break them and you don't never have to worry about that. But for those of you that have ongoing things happening, like for example, I hear a lot of women complaining about their mother. I hear a lot of women complaining about their father. And it's one of those things to where even though they may still because you can't necessarily change them, right? You can't necessarily change them, but you can change how it affects your life. So trust in the process. For example, if you have an uncle or an aunt that's filled with these low vibrational demons and those demons keep trying to come to you, then trust in the process of the banishing work, because it does work. And some of you may feel like, I'm tired of working this hard. You feel like you have to work harder at life, but after a while it just becomes second nature to you. After a while, when you have, that's one of the reasons why I started offering the classes, so that you could learn a healthier way of dealing with that. Okay, which is not necessarily having to do harm to people, but to stop their intent from harming you. Okay. And some of y'all get angry when their energy affects your children, which is understandable because people get very overprotective of their children. If you come from a family where, some families just didn't care, they're like, I don't care about them kids. Screw them kids. You're like, what? Then, when you have your children and they like, that's something very foreign to them. They like, what's wrong with you? And, then you become the eyeball out, but you also become sometimes the kick toy, make fun of you. Why do you care about your own children? It's weird. I want to, maybe you might want to go to college. You might want to go, I know that for me with my path, college was not necessarily necessary, but some of y'all might want to go to college, but nobody else did. What you want to go to college for? Well, what you want to do that for? Well, why you want to do that? Well, maybe because maybe because I'm trying. Oh, well, and some of y'all come from those families to where it's like, well, we living in the end times. Jesus is coming back, but they've been saying that for the past 1,000 years. And that's mainly how those generational curses stayed with you, because they've been saying for years, well, it's over. The world is about to end. So what's the point in preparing for your future? You might as well just take this drug or, do this and do that. Who cares? Let's just not care, right? So, and being patient is key, okay? And believing and understanding that when I educate you guys about different herbs and stuff, because It's going to be a lot of that on this channel, understanding that, you know, the certain herbs and stuff and tinctures and recipes that we make, those things have a connection with you and they will make a difference in your life. And thinking differently and clearing yourself of a lot of that defeat. It's really sad when you see elders of a family end up a certain way and they look at the youngsters and they don't want anything better for them, which is really, really sad. And that's happening a lot. And it's not that we hate them, it's just that, or it could be a younger person that could be very, very negative, I mean, but mainly a lot of you guys are really, really, really struggling. Uh, Hold on a second. Give me a second. Okay. All righty. So, I just wanted to speak to y'all real quick because it is really sad, because, you'll see these families and, you'll see them in movies and they'll just love each other so much. And you'll be like, God dang, I wish that was my family. And, and of course, if you're in a family and you're not unified in any way, then you will feel like giving up, but you can't give up. It wasn't meant for you to give up, especially if you are witnessing this live right now. It wasn't meant for you to give up. It was meant for you to pick up and be the chariot and be the change that you want to see. And I think I got that from somewhere, but yeah, it makes sense. You have to be the change that you want. Okay, and sometimes you do have to, kind of like cleanse your blood out, you know, and just do better. Okay, and because I can tell you that if a religious person walked in my house right now, I got pentagrams everywhere all over this house. They wouldn't understand it, but it's extremely powerful protection from a lot of that. And they don't understand, and what people don't understand, they fear. And so just not being a person that is threatening to them either. You don't have to be threatening, just say, hey, you're my family. We don't see eye to eye. I'm going to do what it takes to protect my children, to protect the things that I have built, to protect myself. Okay. Yeah, and there is nothing scary about a pentacle. They're actually very, very. Jen, I ordered like 3 shirts with a pentacle on them. I did. I definitely, boy, when it's time to connect with that pentagram or a pentacle, actually. 'Cause I didn't even know it was a difference between a pentagram and a pentacle. A pentagram is just the 5-point star, but a pentacle has a circle around it. So yeah. But yeah, and just keep calm as possible. A lot of you guys that do have those generational curses and stuff, a lot of y'all are factually the anxiety sufferers. It gives you anxiety, and so a lot of you guys have to go it alone sometimes, unless you found a partner or either a spiritual family that you can trust, you know otherwise, you know you don't have to turn out to be the expectation that they've set for you, because let's face it, sometimes your parents had lowered expectations for you, probably because when you were 2 years old, you didn't learn how to read or write a thesaurus, and other kids were able to do it. Oh, this kid is going to be stupid their whole life because they couldn't write a book at the age of 2 years old. So now and that competition is a demon. It is. It's a demon within itself. Oh, well, so and so's child can write a book, and they too. What's wrong with you? Or a big one is your parents didn't work out, and whatever parent that raised you took it out on you, which is really sad. I don't know, Jen. I've never read you before. I've never read you. You probably do, though. Okay. And most people do. Most people do. That's why you have your 5 percenters. And, let's face it, even people that are extremely rich got problems. So just because a person is extremely rich doesn't mean that they can't have spiritual problems. But when you look at most, but there's a lot of families out there that are, very, they just don't have that issue. They're just not sitting around gossiping about people just because they're not there or some crazy mess. So yeah, I can tell you that the worst thing against you would be their mouths, their tongue, which is the evil eye. That's the one thing that you have to protect yourself against is their words that they're speaking through spirit. Hmm. So, and that's a very serious thing, especially if you don't get and maybe it's just because they don't know what else to talk about. Maybe they don't have very good social skills or conversational skills to where that all and sometimes you can't change what they have to say, but you can change if it affects you. Okay, no weapons you form against me shall prosper. you know Jen said I'm not rich. Well, no, I was saying when you look at the world at like, we can assume that very rich people, I wasn't talking about you, I was saying we can assume that very rich people don't have curses on them, but that's actually not true. Okay. But most of the time, like, if it's any kind of generational wealth, it can still be problems there that have went unresolved. Okay. So just be patient, trust the process, keep your hands clean as possible. Um, it doesn't matter if they go to a Haitian practitioner, a voodoo practitioner, a hoodoo practitioner, negative energy and negative spirits, or it's all in the same. If you got to send something back, because some of them will go to people that have work done on you. Some of them are that treacherous. Some of them will do work on you. Some of them will go to the church house and do work on you, and you'll be all off somewhere trying to live your life. So, just have to be patient, trust the process, and and understand that the stuff does work. You don't have to one day. It's taxing, it's annoying. It is. Um But you don't have to go no contact, but I would say some distance at least till you get yourself together. Especially when it comes to the women. A lot of women find that it's worse off on them. Is they'll talk about you like a dog. They'll just mm, talk about your kids. They don't have nothing positive to say about your children. And typically, when it comes to, I believe that's why the Bible says to not gossip, because I feel like gossip turns into hate eventually. It's the difference between if your family get together and something done happen, maybe unfortunate or something, and they say, did you hear about what happened to so and so? And they say, oh my God, I'm gonna call and see what's going on, and I'm gonna go over there and check on that person, and rather than, girl, did you hear about it? And I said it because she a dumb bitch, and that, and there's like, whoa, that's your family member. Wow. There's a difference between that, and then it starts to turn into them speaking hatred and speaking curses on you, because they're not within the presence of what we call God, which is goodness. They in the presence of the devil. Okay. So when you start to have children, whether or not you're married, single or not, that's your family. That's your family. Regardless if you're single or not, that's family. That you and your husband or your wife and your children, that's your family. Okay? Or if it's you and you're a man with children or you're a woman with children, that's your family. Okay? And so some people are just nosy meddling people. They just they, or either perverted or sick in some kind of way. You know what I'm saying? But then again, some of y'all don't have that, but y'all have, family members that just get broke down to that negative spirit, but it's still a generational curse. They may not be they may not be actively uh carrying out that curse, because some it depends on what it is. Those are the cases that I like, where it may be a bloodline curse, but it can easily be broken. That curse can be broken easily, and ain't nobody trying to reestablish it or carry it on. They're trying to break the cycle, or either the cycle has been broken. The ones where it's an ongoing battle because, somebody may feel guilty about something that they've done, or either they just like the dysfunction, or maybe they may benefit from the dysfunction, or for whatever reason, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, and just y'all keep your head up, take those spiritual baths. I think by Christmas, probably sometime the end of November, I'm going to be sending out gifts, herb mixes to my clients as a gift. Um, just so but yeah, make sure that y'all are taking those spiritual baths and that you are just believing in yourself, because they'll make you believe that, oh, this, because if the world was able to beat them down to a pulp, and they see that you found a way through that matrix, like almost like a cheat code, they like, whoa, I don't like this. The world kicked my ass. So then they have to prove that That's impossible. That's impossible for you to do that. The world kicked my ass, and here you are, who you think you are. You know what I'm saying? Really? Don't you hate those weird people that your parents hang out with? That's bad parenting. As a parent, I can't hang with some weird person that has an obsession with my child that, and you got to go. Yeah. Mm. Oh, wow. Yeah, church people can put curses on you. Facts. They are no different from witches, okay? You understand what I'm saying? I don't know why people, people sometimes they think that, I guess, but no, they can do that too. So, mm. So anyway, because I can promise you that 10 years from now, the world will still be here and you'll be in it, and they'll tell you, oh, well, you might as well just let that go because of whatever reason. And, you'll be here, and then you don't let 10 years of your life go by, pass you by. Yeah. So it just, and to anybody that's watching, I'm not talking about my family because I wish that certain people that I know personally didn't know my channel. You can't send nothing to me. Okay. Hold on a minute, y'all. All right, y'all, I'm back. Mm. So, that's what I wanted to tell y'all, especially those of you guys that are clients. Okay. And if you have a generational curse on you right now and you feel like the economy is kicking your butt, then there's alternatives to that, such as the black candle vigils, will ward that energy off of you. Because they all scared and they feel like we got to have a sacrifice in the family. That's when you get, it's like, oh Lord, let me call Jamila. Here they go. What are you talking about? Jesus already died for our sins. We got to have a blood sacrifice. It's like, I'm not a part of that. Or they may just decide, they want to, sell your, there's people out there. I'm just telling you, a lot of stuff happening in secret that people don't know about. Okay. But y'all know about it because spirit will give you that discernment, and you can't go and tell them. They'll be like, you are crazy. I did not go to a witch and ask her to sacrifice you because I don't like the fact that something, and I'm jealous or something. It does you no good. Just have the discernment and keep it moving. Okay. So yeah, yeah. I want to have y'all up on the panel and stuff one day, but I just wanted to come and have this quick discussion because I'm going to get set up for my uh-oh, I gotta go, guys. Oh Lord. Okay, I gotta go, guys. I gotta go. I hope that y'all enjoyed this discussion. Hit that thumbs up. Blessings to all of y'all. My heart goes out to all of y'all that are dealing with whatever situation you're dealing with. And Yeah, I love it. I tell them all the time, well, you got to get right with Jesus. Why I'm right with Jesus. I love Jesus. Jesus died for my sins. I don't have no problem with Jesus Christ. That to me was the easy part, right? It goes much deeper than that. Okay. So anyway, I gotta go, guys, because I gotta follow up with somebody real quick, and y'all keep your heads up, okay? Stay positive. Okay, that's not necessarily law of attraction. That's just common sense, and stay calm. Okay, keep calm, and call the gods. Okay, but I gotta go, you guys. Thank you for watching. Hit that thumbs up, subscribe, and I'm always here for y'all. Okay. Yes, exactly. Exactly. I will catch y'all later. Okay. Blessings.